trying to make money and bring ourselves up out of this pit. So let's see.
What you're seeing here is the resilient Jenkins talking about how many things that they got on their Amazon and all of these different shopping trips. There's one about going to Burlington and another one where her husband bought her stuff. And look, I'm not saying that people aren't allowed to purchase things, but when your children don't even have beds, they don't have mattresses, they don't have these things, how are you going to go spend money like that?
Everything doesn't have to be about skin color, but y'all really need to be honest with yourselves when you're talking about this resilient Jenkins situation. The number one factor as to why people are saying you have two loving parents in the household is because the mother is not black. If that mom was black, every single positive video about this negligent couple would not be, it wouldn't be posted.
Family TikTok drama episode 4. Hey you all, welcome to Topisco TV. This is a commentary channel and we talk about things we see on the internet. So we are doing a series about TikTok notorious family, the Jenkins family. So we have 3 other videos we've done in this series, so do well to watch them. So in this video, guys, there's some tea that we need to talk about. So different people, you know how the internet can be when we see certain things like nope, this is wrong. So different people are coming out of the woods to like, okay, Jenkins family, hold on, everybody knows that you don't have money, but this is not an excuse. This is not an excuse, because Papa Jenkins has a PS5 that cost $500, right? That he plays games regularly with that PS5, while their children don't have proper living conditions. Mama Jenkins, on the other hand, is collecting gifts on TikTok. Okay, no problem. We've done a video about the wish list and all of that. No problem about that. Okay, but you are collecting gifts meant for the children, but you are not appropriating those gifts to the children. For instance, they were gifted a bunk bed, right, so that the children can have where to sleep and all of that. And when she was asked that, where is this bunk bed on a video, and she's like, oh, you guys are talking about the rooms. Why are you talking about the rooms? It's not funny. Please like this video, guys. Like the video, okay? Like the video. So some good people are coming out to tell them that, look, we grew up in this type of situation, and this was how we felt as kids when we were growing up in that situation. We're going to watch all those videos in a minute, okay, but let's just talk about it. Okay, somebody else comes and says, look, I and my family were deep in poverty, but through sheer hard work we were able to come out. Anyway, I want you guys to relax, sit down and share your thoughts with me. Okay, we're going to watch these videos and we'll be giving commentary as we go. All right, but I need you to be relaxed. All right, okay, thank you. Like the video, guys, like the video. And yeah, please check our Amazon storefront in case you want to buy something. We have candles, beautiful stuff over there. So the link is going to be in the description box. So let's get into the video.
As a person who's lived like the resilient Jenkins, as I've said in my videos, I will give you my 2 cents. And by the way, if you don't like that I give opinions on things that are going on based on my life experiences and what I'm doing here, that seems to be a you problem. You might want to ask yourself why. When my husband and I found ourselves with 3 little kids smashed into a tiny little apartment, one of the reasons why we were that poor is because my current husband never missed a payment of child support. So not showing income was never an issue for him. Any possessions that we had, we pawned to make sure that our kids had bed. We slept on a pile of blankets in our actual living room until we saved enough money to buy a blow-up mattress. I'll try to insert pictures if I can find some. I might not be able.
And you guys see what reasonable thinking adults do in certain situations. The husband had to pay child support, okay, to his ex-wife or something like that. So the income was short, but they did what they could. They made sacrifices. But let's keep watching anyway.
And then we got hand-me-down beds for the kids, or the bedroom that we did have. There was a point where my husband's ex-wife's family was preventing him from getting a job and actively trying to bankrupt him. So what we did was my husband stayed home with the kids instead of paying for daycare, and I went to work and I was the breadwinner. I worked in IT. And then when we thought we started to have things all together, I suddenly got pregnant with our ours baby, and that was a surprise. One of the best surprises of my life, but we were very, very poor. We left the hospital after I had our 4th child, our together baby. We had $25 in the bank. My husband had just filed bankruptcy. I wasn't able to work because I had hyperemesis gravidarum and threw up all day long the entire pregnancy until they had to take him out early. So what we did was we saved $150 for a futon for our living room to sleep in. And we put the baby's crib next to us, and the bedroom was for the older kids. We climbed out of poverty by working our literal tails off, pawning every single thing that we had, doing contract work on the side, and going without things. I didn't have makeup. I didn't get new clothes. We didn't have gaming consoles unless they were our old ones from our prior marriages. Like, we just got hand-me-down anything that anybody would give us, and we were so grateful for it. After our 4th child was born, my parents had to take us grocery shopping. In the very moment that I could, I paid them back and then some, working our tails off. We have made small and slow strides to climb out of poverty despite so many setbacks. I can tell you that if my husband wasn't the man that he is and he didn't have the type of tenacity that he has to provide for his family and fix it, I probably wouldn't have been in that situation with my kids. One of the saddest things is that when I talk about my husband and the things that he does, we consider these to be low bar, like normal things, and women in my comments think that they're amazing things. And it really makes me sad, because to my husband, he thinks that that's just how men should be and how they should take care of their families. Over the last 16 years, we have worked so hard to climb out of all of that into abundance, is because we work together as a team, and my husband works very, very hard, and so do I, to make sure that we never end up back there again. I can't imagine a world where we would have ever monetized that or turned down work in any type of way or any type of help to not give our children the very best that we could, if that tells you how I feel about it.
Thank you so much, Mom, for sharing your experience and how you and your husband were able to come out of poverty. But you see, by Papa and Mama Jenkins, Papa and Mama Jenkins don't want to do any of that. We are going to get there. They don't want to do any of that because Papa Jenkins does not want to pay child support for his ex-wife. Yeah, ex-baby mama. Mama Jenkins, see, this family, you guys just sit down, and because it's a right, it's a lot. I've been traumatized by their story because it is too much. Anyway, let's see what other people had to say.
I really got on this app, cussed everyone out in the comment sections who had a criticism, sent that lady's children beds to the doorstep so they were not required to exert any sort of effort or any sort of energy doing anything for their kids, even if it was on someone else's dime. Once the beds got delivered, y'all got up here, asked her if y'all could see the beds once they were set up, and she looked at y'all and said, "Oh my God, y'all always asking about the rooms. Next topic, next subject." Then you know what? Hell yeah. As she should. As she should. Because you know what? I've had enough of y'all. If y'all are going to get up here and continue to make the conscious decision to financially subsidize these people's lifestyles who get up here and do absolutely nothing besides ask and demand that y'all send them money, then let them get a bag. It's really putting into perspective for me why I get on this app and constantly see videos of y'all talking about how everyone manipulates you and everybody gets over on you, because y'all couldn't recognize a finesse even when it's right in front of your face. Y'all couldn't recognize a crook if they were dressed up as Jeff Bezos, okay? And I say all that to say this. A lot of y'all were mad at me in the comment section of my last video about this situation, saying that I was promoting eugenics. Have children, but just don't have more than you can financially and emotionally provide for does not equal eugenics. Eugenics is when you think that all poor people should never have kids, regardless of situation, regardless of character, regardless of nuance. You believe that only the rich, only people with a certain amount of money in their bank account should be allowed to have kids. I said in the beginning of my last video, I don't think you should have to be a millionaire to have children, but if you can only afford one, only have one. If you can only afford two, only have two. If you can only afford three, only have three. And hard truth, but in 2024, you kind of do have to be at least a little financially well off in order to have 4 or more. All right. You see the point, the bigger picture that a lot of you seem to just not be capable of grasping or were just purposely choosing to misunderstand was that them being in a financially strapped situation was not the point. That is not why people were upset with them. Are there some people out here who just genuinely hate the poor? Absolutely. But the mass majority of the general public that was criticizing them were not criticizing them due to a lack of finances. They were criticizing them due to a lack of financial responsibility with the limited amount of resources that they do have. Because they got a hold of $500+ and instead of buying their children's necessities, they bought a PlayStation 5. For the ones who were saying, well, what if it was gifted? They were gifted an item worth $500+ and instead of reselling it to therefore buy their children's necessities, they decided to boo up in their bedroom and play video games together all day while the kids slept on the floor. They got on the internet talking about the husband's superior genetics, whatever she meant by that. Don't even get me started on that. But started talking about his superior genetics, saying that she was hoping to go viral because he promised her that if she went viral, he would get her pregnant 2 more times after she gave birth to number 5. So they're planning out 7 after not being able to properly house the 4 they already have. Them not having a lot of money was not the problem. The problem is the mentality. And for the ones who were saying, oh, well, the rich, they neglect their kids too. They neglect their kids too. Thank you for proving my point. Them not having money was not the problem. They give off the energy that even if they came into $1 million tomorrow, the children's necessities, the children's needs would still not be being met because the children are not high on the priority list in their mind. They sit on live having people offer them all sorts of different employment options and they come up with an excuse as to why they can't do not one of them. The husband sat on live and said he wouldn't do this job and he wouldn't do that job and he wouldn't do this job and he wouldn't do that job because, oh, they're sacrificial. Yes, almost as if when you become a parent, you sacrifice for your kids. When I first heard about the situation, I was actually fully prepared to come up here and defend a struggling couple because I understand that life really do be lifing. But there is no justifying that. And if you want to convince yourself that throwing a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of materialistic items at a financially irresponsible couple is going to all of a sudden fix all of their problems, then more power to you. That is the equivalent of throwing a whole bunch of money at a drug addict and expecting it to help them get sober. But like I said in my last video, maybe I'm wrong.
Sister, I really don't think you're wrong. You know, a lot of people are just naive and nice, and for them, it's giving them a kink like, oh, I'm helping people out of poverty. It just gives them that kink, but they can't see that some people will take advantage. They will take advantage. And unfortunately, that seems to be what is playing out. Okay, we may be wrong. Okay, we might be wrong, but it seems that way. Okay. Anyway, Diamonds, we're going to stop here today. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Jenkins family TikTok drama. Stick around on the channel for the next videos on this series. Thank you so much, guys.